In the heart of the dust-choked mountains, where every shadow could hide a threat, Specialist Maya Reyes moved with a quiet focus that belied the storm of doubt surrounding her. Fresh out of training, she was the newest member of the elite Ghost Recon Unit and the only woman. The air in the barracks was often thick with unspoken questions, the sideways glances from her male colleagues more cutting than any enemy blade. They saw her as a liability, a checkbox ticked for diversity, not a warrior who had earned her place. Their leader, Sergeant Iron Mike Thorne, was a man carved from granite and skepticism. He didn't hide his disapproval. "The battlefield is no place for politics, Reyes," he grumbled during her first briefing. "Out here you pull your weight or you drag us all down." Maya met his gaze, her own dark eyes steady. "I'm here to do my job, Sergeant. Just like everyone else." Their mission was critical: to rescue a high-value informant from a heavily fortified enemy compound deep in hostile territory. The plan was a ghost insertion under the cover of a moonless night. As they moved through the treacherous terrain, the silence was absolute, broken only by the crunch of their boots on gravel and the whisper of the wind. Maya felt the weight of a dozen pairs of eyes on her, waiting for a misstep, a moment of weakness. She ignored it, her senses dialed to a razor's edge, scanning the darkness, her rifle a natural extension of her arm. They reached the perimeter of the compound, a maze of concrete and razor wire. Thorne signaled the team to hold. He pointed to a single, elevated watchtower, its searchlight sweeping the grounds in a predictable pattern. "Miller, you're on sniper overwatch." "Diaz, hack there comes." "Reyes," he hesitated, "you're with me on the breach." It wasn't a vote of confidence. It was a test. He was keeping her close, where he could watch her every move. Inside the compound, the tension was a physical force. They moved like wraiths through the corridors, the only sounds the muffled thumps of their own heartbeats. They found the informant huddled in a cold, damp cell, his face a mask of fear. Just as they were about to extract him, the world exploded. An alarm blared, piercing the night, and the compound erupted in a hailstorm of gunfire. It was an ambush. They were pinned down in a narrow hallway, enemy fire pouring in from both ends. Sparks flew as bullets ricocheted off the concrete walls. "We're trapped!" someone yelled over the chaos. It was then that Thorne was hit. A round tore through his leg, and he crashed to the ground with a grunt of pain, a dark stain spreading rapidly across his fatigues. For a heartbeat, the team froze. Their leader was down. Panic began to creep into the edges of the firefight, but Maya didn't freeze. While others hesitated, her training took over. She laid down a volley of suppressive fire, forcing the enemy to take cover. "Diaz, get the informant out the west access tunnel. Miller, give us cover fire, now." Her voice cut through the noise, sharp and commanding. It wasn't a request. It was an order, delivered with an authority that stunned the others into action. She scrambled to Thorne's side, ignoring the bullets whizzing past her head. "I'm hit, Reyes." "Get out of here," he gasped, his face pale. "Not a chance, Sergeant," she replied, her hands already working, tearing open a medkit. She quickly applied a tourniquet to his leg, her movements precise and efficient despite the adrenaline coursing through her veins. The bleeding slowed. "We need to move," she yelled. She hoisted Thorne's arm over her shoulder, taking his weight. The man was nearly twice her size, but she gritted her teeth, her muscles screaming in protest. "On three, we run for that doorway. 1, 2, 3. She surged forward, half dragging, half carrying her wounded sergeant through the storm of bullets. It felt like an eternity, every step a monumental effort. A bullet grazed her arm, a hot slash of pain, but she didn't falter. They crashed through the designated doorway and tumbled into the relative safety of an adjacent room, collapsing against a wall, chests heaving. The rest of the team, galvanized by her actions, had rallied. They fought with renewed ferocity, pushing the enemy back, creating the opening they needed. One by one, they regrouped at Maya's position, their expressions a mixture of awe and respect. They had followed the lead of the one person they had doubted the most. Under Maya's improvised command, they successfully fought their way out of the compound, informant in tow. The exfiltration was a brutal, running gun battle, but they moved as a single, cohesive unit, with Maya calling out targets and coordinating their movements. They didn't just survive, they dominated. Back at the temporary base, as the medics tended to Thorn, the atmosphere was completely different. The sideways glances were gone, replaced by nods of respect. Diaz walked up to her, clapping a hand on her uninjured shoulder. "You were incredible back there, Reyes. You saved us all." Miller, the stoic sniper, simply gave her a thumbs up from across the room, a gesture that spoke volumes. Later, Thorn, his leg bandaged, hobbled over to where Maya was cleaning her rifle. He stood before her for a long moment, the silence heavy. Finally he spoke, his voice rough with emotion. "Reyes, I was wrong about you. Dead wrong. What you did back there, you didn't just pull your weight, you carried us. You're a true warrior, and I'd be honored to serve with you anywhere, anytime." Maya looked up, a small, weary smile touching her lips. She didn't need the validation, but hearing it mattered. She had faced down enemy fire and the deep-seated prejudice of her own team. In the crucible of combat, she had not only proven her skill and courage, but she had also forged a new kind of unity within the Ghost Recon Squad, a bond built not on assumptions, but on the undeniable truth of shared bravery. From that day on, she wasn't just Specialist Reyes, the woman on the team. She was Maya, their sister-in-arms, a Ghost Recon legend in the making. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of courage and resilience. We'll see you in the next one.